Legend YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. One love, and I'm out. Inglewood Legends.
So after getting sentenced to a 6-month track 3 camp program, and after everybody went to court and seen the judge, they transported us back to Eastlake Central Juvenile Hall. At this time, they had me housed over there on Unit CD. We talking about what? Sometime late 1990 or something like that. Now anybody that ever been locked up and had to go back and forth to court fighting cases, do you remember the ride back to jail from court? Especially if you wasn't lucky enough to catch the early bus around lunchtime. That late bus was the worst bus ride back to jail ever. Real talk. For some reason, that bus ride back to jail, the sun been done went damn near down, the day be seeming and looking hella gloomy. Whole bus be quiet. Radio looking out the windows at the cars passing by just as fast as your life passing by. Sitting in jail, wasting life and time. You get to the Sally Port, gate raised up, they unload you off the bus and walk you right back into the jail. Single file. Unit R. You might sit in Unit R for about 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah, about that long. Or at least until they had enough staff members to escort you and everybody else back to their respective units. Let's go. It might be about 20 young dudes in this escort line. Shoulder to shoulder and 2 by 2 with your arms behind your back and your hands in a diamond shape like fashion. They would escort everybody back unit by unit. K and L, M and N, E, F, G, H, then TV, A, B, and CD. And if you was under 13, they would house you over there in Unit O. I forgot the name of the female units, but they housed the females over right there in the cut. Yeah, right there. We would see them every day during school movement. If you was a classroom assistant, you had action at roaming around the classroom corridor, popping in and out of different classrooms, trying to holler at the females. What's happening? Wasn't no co-ed classes there at Eastlake. Nah. But they did have a couple of co-ed classes up there at Sylmar for a minute. This unit right here, the one all the way back there in the cut, they called that Unit Alpha and Omega. That's where they would send you when they sentence you to what they called a Ricardo M program. Ricardo M program was something like a county jail lid. Back then, the judge might sentence you to anything from 2 weeks to 3 months back there. True story. If you been there back then, by now, you notice they tore down Unit A, B, and C and D. Is that right? And built up a brand new 2-story building in the same spot A, B sat. I see. This right here is where Unit CD was. Yeah, right there. At Eastlake is where I met a lot of young Crips from all over LA, Inglewood, Compton, Watts, and just about everywhere else in the land. On the set. Back then, you had young Crips like Lil Touche, Babyface, Tiny Face, Baby Albone, Fat Dog, and a couple of more, all from Faux Trey Gangsta Crip. Lil Stupid Capone from Front Street Watts, Tiny Looney from Five Deuce Broadway, Moon, Maniac, X-Ray, and a couple of more, all from First Street East Coast, Eliso Village. I remember a couple of dime moves back then too. One in particular, my guy Lil Peblo Steve, and a guy that called himself Domino from Crenshaw Mafia. He was on Unit AB. I remember. Now Lil Peblo Steve might have been the youngest in the whole institution, the youngest and the smallest. But one thing about Lil Peblo Steve, and 2 things for certain, Lil Peblo Steve had the heart of a giant. Cuz was squabbling his so-called rivals twice his size, sometimes 3 times his size. True story. What about Babyface from Faux Trey Gangsta? What about him? The homie Babyface lived at Eastlake back then. I mean, I seen Babyface get out and come right back a couple of hours later that same night. True story. Babyface was another youngster, about the same age as Lil Peblo Steve. But see, Babyface was about 4 times bigger than Lil Peblo Steve. Babyface had to be the swollest young Crip there at that time. I mean, the homie Babyface arms was busting out them little thin white t-shirts they gave us way back then. True story. Cuz might have had like some 15s on the hang back then. You probably laughed when I said 15s on the hang, right? Right. But see, you got to remember, we was kids back then. 11, 12, 13, and 14 years old. So 15s on the hang looked like grown man 20s on the hang. Boat motors. Hell, matter of fact, I think Babyface might have been one of the swollest youngsters, period, in the entire institution. Cuz was damn near bigger than some of the staff on Legend Crib. Nobody wanted it with Babyface. Nobody. Swear to God. On Sunday, they had church. Amen. But before church, they would have something they called Bible study on the unit. Right there in the day room. That'll last for about 45 minutes to an hour. True story. And everybody would line up and march on over to the boys' side gym and up the stairs. Let's go. Now, church was where you would go every Sunday to see who got locked up throughout the week. Plus, you had action at seeing one of the homies that was in another unit somewhere. What's happening? Of course, everybody that was somebody, and with the business back then, used that opportunity to gang bang. It's crazy how we was hitting each other up, gang banging, and fighting at church. Now remember, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that the judge had sentenced me to my first probation camp program. Damn. So about a week or so later, they ended up transferring me up to Silmar Juvenile Hall. But that was just a layover for one night though. One night. So in the next episode, I'm gonna get into the reception center I was transferred to after the one night layover at Silmar. Oh, okay. With that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the content out. Share it. Stay blessed and stay tuned. One love. And I'm out. Gone. Inglewood Legends. Inglewood Legends. Inglewood Legends.
Inglewood Legends. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. One love. And I'm out.